I started a very intense healing journey back in 2020. And along the way, I discovered a pivotal step that I had to make in order for me to keep moving forward. I had to stop going inside the store. Say me if you go in a store for one thing and you actually come out of the store with that one thing. Nobody spoke. Clearly, I'm amongst friends. See, what would happen was I would go in the store, maybe for some paper towels, tortilla chips, a sports bra, just to get in and out. But in and out was more like in and over. I knew what was happening to me. I would walk in the store, and by design, there's a red or a yellow sign that says SALE. And suddenly I lose all control of my mind and my body, and I've gravitated towards a rack. Now I'm deep in clearance, browsing through items that I had no intention of touching. And then it happens. I see that item, clearly premium, not off brand. I look at the price tag, and it's pennies on a dollar, 80 to 90% off. Sort of like this Prada bag that I found for $55, originally $3,000. My first thought when I see the item is not, oh my God, what a deal. It's, what's wrong with this item? Why is this over here? Am I being pranked? All of a sudden, I'm looking over my shoulder for loss prevention to come get me like I just stole something. And all I did was actually find a steal. That moment when you question the worth of something because of its placement and the price tag that you see on it does not just happen to items in stores. It happens in careers. It happens in life. See, I was that item, proven quality, premium results, wrong rack, wrong price. It started for me when I was a rising store manager, being groomed for promotion. I just finished my stretch assignment where I was leading a multi-million mini district of stores while leading my own store. No extra pay, no title change, just proving myself. I got that call from my new boss, and she says, congratulations, they loved you in the interview. You did so great on your stretch assignment. We're gonna make you an offer for $85,000. I froze. I think it scared her a little bit because she said, hey, are you excited? I thawed out and I told her a quick lie. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm just really grateful for the opportunity. See, but inside, I knew that I was worth more, and I knew that the role was worth more. Months later, I found out that the man before me, same role, same company, made $175,000. Yeah, keep your seats. See, I was in the wrong place. I was boxed in gratitude. I was misplaced. But I thought that was the first time that I had gotten marked down. But actually, the markdown started long before that. But first, let me tell you what I've learned from working in retail for over 20 years. Clearance does not mean low value. Items get marked down because the seasons change or the person who was doing the pricing just simply got it wrong. But behind the scenes, what happens is it was merchandised wrong. It was in the wrong place. It sat in the back too long. It arrived to the store entirely too late. The average sales cycle for an item inside of a store is 13 weeks. So imagine your talent on a shelf, misunderstood, misplaced, folded up for 13 years. See, I wasn't broken, I was misplaced. I was boxed in gratitude, priced too late. And here's the kicker, and you all know this is true. Once you buy an item for 85 to 90% off, you're never paying full price for that item again, right? You're gonna wait, you're gonna hold out until the store is desperate to get rid of that item. And that's what was happening to us. I was lowering my price and my value because I was desperate to be picked. However, what I did realize was this was not even my first clearance moment. When I was getting groomed to become a store manager, I got the call from my district manager. Now, I had done my research, so I knew that I was about to get at least 6 figures. He says to me, congratulations. I don't know why they put congratulations in front of bad news all the time. Congratulations, we're gonna make you an offer for $65,000. So I said, oh, I thought it was gonna be a little bit more than that. He laughed at me. And he said, girl, that's way more than I was making at your age. You're about to be rolling in dough. See, he called me a girl and said it to me like it was a compliment, but I took it like a deposit in the bank of my mindset, and I let it clear. I stopped showing up like a woman with authority, and I started showing up like a more grateful, quieter, apologetic girl. And what happened was, by not negotiating, that is when I began training people to shop for me in the discount section. But the markdown didn't even start there. When I went back and thought about it, it started when I was a kid. I was very confident. I was a valedictorian of my 8th grade class, graduated top 20 in high school. I even played instruments, for goodness sakes. But every time that I would get too excited, somebody would say, make sure you stay humble. Don't nobody like a show off. I'd even have people sing the song. You're so vain. I bet you think the song is about you, don't you, don't you? I was determined not to have the song be about me. And I knew that being confident made people uncomfortable. So I dimmed my light, and gratitude became my mask. So when they would ask me the common question, how you doing, Candyce? I'd say, I'm good. I'm just so grateful to be here. You know how it sounds. Because that felt easier than saying, I'm underpaid, I'm tired, I'm undervalued, I am drowning. See, here's what I do know. Being on the clearance rack is a pattern, and patterns can be broken. So in true Candyce fashion, I created a pattern breaking framework, and it's called the Dominion Code. You gotta say it with your chest because it's really important. The Dominion Code, not ego, not dominance, dominion. That is our authority to govern our value, our voice, and our vision. And it starts with what is TRUE, true. See, T is for truth, your truth, not fear, not the comments they made to you, not the you're further along than me story. Truth is in the receipts, your performance reviews, your actual results, what the industry says about the actual rate for your role, not the title they gave you. The numbers do not lie, but staying on the clearance rack keeps you silenced. R is for resolve, and this is more about belief. You have to believe what the truth tells you. You have to know that you are not in that role because your boss gave you a favor that you have to overthank him for. You are there because you have experience, you have education, you have exposure that qualifies you for the role. So you have to make a decision with your beliefs. Are you going to internalize their pricing, or are you going to internalize what the facts told you? U is for unleash, and this is about action. This is where you have to speak up. Later in my career, I got another job offer, and when they asked the common question, what's your salary expectations? I said $185,000 plus name said benefits with my chest out. But I didn't wake up with that confidence. I practiced out loud, in the mirror, in the car, with people who I trusted, until my voice stopped shaking, until it sounded like an actual fact and not a favor or a receipt. And lastly, E is for elevate. See, you have to actually move yourself off the clearance rack. Sometimes it's mental, but sometimes it is literal. You have to move away, shift aisles, apply for the role above yours, change departments, change companies. For me, I changed cities 7 times in 13 years. I'm not saying be that drastic, but what I am saying is that you have to actually move off the clearance rack. Because I know that elevation is not easy, but staying there, now that's hard. So we've got to choose our hard. Now, what makes dominion? What makes true exponential? What amplifies it? And that is courage. Not loud, not reckless, but the decision to say, I am premium. This is my rate on the open market. Run me my money. You have to make sure that you say what your value is, even when it gets scary, even when they call you aggressive. See, I didn't get marked down because my former bosses were evil. It was because I lost the courage to name my worth. But it's my responsibility now, so I have to operate in my dominion. I have an 11-year-old daughter, and she's never gonna let anybody girl her or put the girl price tag on her. One, because she gets to hear me talk spicy like this all the time. But mainly because I had the courage to break the pattern. A household chant in my house is, I got dominion, I got dominion. You might have saw me on the internet. My son, when he won his defensive MVP title for his basketball team, when he got his rings, he said, I got dominion, I got dominion. He did not let me sing the I'm So Vain song to him. So it's our responsibility to break the pattern, because when we pull ourselves off the clearance rack, we don't just change our lives. We change the store, we change the market, we change the industry. So the next time somebody tries to mark you down, and trust me, they will, you're gonna remember what is TRUE, true. Document your truth, stand in your resolve, unleash your voice, elevate your position, and do it to the power of courage. So here's my final question to you. How much are you willing to pay? In peace, presence, finances, and purpose, just to stay on the clearance rack. Because here's what I know to be true. The cost of claiming your worth will never be greater than the cost of accepting a clearance discount. So my friends, it's time to get off the clearance rack, because dominion is yours and it is waiting on you to reclaim it. Thank you.